Hello, you're watching News Mongolia on MNB World, and I'm your host, Irtundala Ingamuklang. On the News Mongolia today, update from Cabinet meeting. Mongolia and India mark the 70th anniversary of diplomatic relations. Mongolian-made chess set could break records at a Hong Kong auction. For other news, stay tuned. The regular cabinet meeting was held on Thursday, January 30th. The Minister of Family, Labor, and Social Protection, Il Ingamuklang, introduced some proposals related to public holidays as the Mongolian Tsagansar family celebration approaches. Details are as follows. We have prepared presentations on the major public holidays. According to current regulations, there are 16 public holidays designated across 9 major celebrations. For the Tsagansar celebration, the first 3 days are public holidays. Similarly, for the Nadam festival, public holidays extend from July 10th to 15th. In response to citizens' request, we are proposing that when major public holidays fall on a weekend, Saturday or Sunday, they be extended to a weekday. In addition, we are studying the possibility of creating winter holidays regulations that allow people to take holidays and work remotely during the severe winter cold or influenza season. But again, let me remind you that it is all in discussion and under review. No decision has been made, so at the moment, please don't misunderstand that we have 5 days of holidays during Tsagansar. This year marks the 70th anniversary of the establishment of diplomatic relations between Mongolia and the Republic of India. Diplomatic relations between the two countries were established on 24th December 1955. India was the first country outside of the socialist bloc to establish diplomatic relations with Mongolia. Also, India supported Mongolia in having UN and non-aligned movement memberships.
On January 26, the Embassy of India in Mongolia hosted a reception at the Chinggis Khan Museum to celebrate the 76th Republic Day of India and the 70th anniversary of establishing diplomatic relations between the two countries. The event was attended by Mongolian and Indian officials, public figures, and media representatives. Opening the event, Ambassador Extraordinary and Plenipotentiary of India Atul Malhari Kotsarve delivered his speech.
This year, 2025, also marks the celebration of the 70th year of establishment of diplomatic relations between India and Mongolia. The celebrations would involve several mutually agreed initiatives and programs. I have always believed that relations between two countries are not built by governments alone. People's participation is crucial in strengthening these relationships.
I am confident that the strong and friendly ties between Mongolia and India will continue to flourish across various sectors, further strengthening the bond between our two people. I extend my heartfelt greetings to all the distinguished guests attending this event.
During the last 70 years, the two countries expanded their relations in various sectors, including education, defense, infrastructure, and health. More than 40 high-level visits from both sides were conducted and 50 cooperation agreements were signed. Notable major projects and cooperation include the construction of the oil refinery with a capacity of process 1.5 million tons of crude oil per year, the ITAC exchange program for students and professionals, and the nomadic elephant joint military drill. During the event, the official logo for the celebration of the 70th anniversary was unveiled.
Now let's take a look at Mongolia's current affairs.
The Mongol Han Gem chess set aims to break a world record when it goes up for auction in Hong Kong. The chess set, created with the style and symbols of the ancient Mongolian Han Empire, was put on public display on January 27th. The Mongol Han Gem chess set weighs 61 kilograms and stands 30 centimeters tall. It's the result of 20 years of diligent work by craftsmen by Saklang. In March, the chess set will be auctioned in Hong Kong, aiming to break world records. The most expensive chess set in the world is the Dual Royale chess set, valued at $9.8 million. Through his work, Saklang wants to introduce the history of the ancient Mongolian Empire and its capital city, Lot, or Dragon City. He combined ancient symbols and icons with modern metalworking techniques. The one-of-a-kind chess set will be on view at Genghis Khan National Museum until March 12th. A 16-year-old high school student took the top spot at the country's first drone-making championship. DroneCon 2025 was held last weekend under the auspices of the President of Mongolia. 11th grade student Irdem Tosak won the gold medal in the competition's professional category. He told IC News that he started assembling drones last year and that his winning drone was his third build. According to the Ministry of Digital Development, Innovation and Communications, the drone market is expected to grow by 25% annually through 2032. The market is currently valued at $28 billion and is likely to increase to $208 billion by 2032. The Mongolian government plans to expand the use of drones in defense, agriculture, and transportation. Officials have reported that the first draft of a drone law is being developed.
Now let's take a look at currency exchange rates provided by the Mongol Bank. Now let's take a look at international news provided by our partner agencies. China's artificial intelligence startup DeepSeek said on Tuesday that it had been hit with a large-scale malicious cyber attacks. A Chinese cybersecurity specialist noted that the IP addresses associated with the attacks all show their geographic locations in the United States.
An analysis report from Chinese cybersecurity company QAX restored the entire timeline of the cyber attacks. According to the data, the attacks began on January 3rd, and the number of attacks surged on Monday and Tuesday. The brute force attacks have become the primary strategy lately, which differ from the distributed denial-of-service attacks previously used by the attackers, according to Wang Hui, a cybersecurity specialist from QAX.
There are actually two types of attacks. The DDoS attack primarily consumes the server's resources or occupies its bandwidth, making it impossible for users to access the system. The brute force attack, on the other hand, targets DeepSeek users' password. The attacker steals the user's password, and once they have it, they can access the user's account and perform actions like asking questions or searching. They can also view the user's activities on DeepSeek and potentially access the user's private information.
Wang added that several Chinese leading companies had been attacked for economic gains or political reasons. In January 2025, DeepSeek released its latest model, DeepSeek R1, which has attracted significant attention for its advanced reasoning capabilities. The model is said to have achieved performance comparable to leading AI systems such as OpenAI's ChatGPT, but at a fraction of the development cost.
President Donald Trump signed the bipartisan Laken-Riley Act Wednesday, the first bill of his new administration. The law mandates that people in the U.S. illegally who are accused of theft and violent crimes be detained and potentially deported even before a conviction.
In White House remarks, Trump described the Laken-Riley Act as a landmark law and tremendous tribute to the slain Georgia nursing student for whom it is named. The law mandates that people in the U.S. illegally who are accused of theft and violent crimes be detained and potentially deported even before a conviction. Laken-Riley, 22, went out for a run in February 2024 and was killed by Jose Antonio Ibarra, a Venezuelan national who was in the country illegally. Ibarra was found guilty in November and sentenced to life without parole.
It's a tremendous tribute to your daughter, what's taking place today. That's all I can say. But so sad we have to be doing it at all. Thank you very much for being here. To Laken's family, we will keep Laken's memory alive in our hearts forever, everyone's hearts. With today's action, her name will also live forever in the laws of our country, and this is a very important law.
During his remarks, Trump also announced he is directing the opening of a detention center at Guantanamo Bay, Cuba, to hold up to 30,000 immigrants who are living illegally in the United States and cannot be deported to their home countries.
Asteroid samples fetched by NASA hold not only pristine building blocks for life, but also the salty remains of an ancient water world, scientists reported Wednesday.
The findings provide the strongest evidence yet that asteroids may have planted the seeds of life on Earth and that these ingredients were mingling with water almost right from the start.
We've thought for a while that the water on Earth certainly could have come from an asteroid because we've seen water for a long time. This is telling us that not just the water, but some of the building blocks of life actually were seeded onto Earth and other planets. It wouldn't have been limited to just Earth.
NASA's OSIRIS-REx spacecraft returned 121.6 grams of dust and pebbles from the near-Earth asteroid Bennu, delivering the sample canister to the Utah desert in 2023, before swooping off after another space rock. It remains the biggest cosmic haul from beyond the moon. The two previous asteroid sample missions by Japan yielded considerably less material.
Canada's Minister of Foreign Affairs, Mélanie Joly, met with her U.S. counterpart ahead of a looming weekend threat from President Donald Trump to impose massive tariffs on imports from Canada.
Secretary of State Marco Rubio and Joly held talks at the State Department on Wednesday amid concerns and counter-threats from Canadian officials over the potential 25% tariffs that could be announced on Saturday.
I think that the job that we're doing right now is extremely important. I think that the relationship between Canada and the US is extremely deep, and any form of trade tensions or trade war would have deep and lasting impacts. And so in that sense, I think that doing the job of helping my American colleagues to understand what would be at stake is something that is definitely resonating. Now, am I in the headspace of President Trump? No, of course not. And so in that sense, I'm just doing the job of making sure that people around him really are able to sign on our different arguments.
Trump insists the tariffs, which could also apply to imports from Mexico, are necessary to convince the countries to crack down on illegal immigration and the smuggling of fentanyl precursors. Joly said she will be staying in Washington until Friday and be joined by other ministers of Canada.
This is just the reality of dealing with the Trump administration, and we need to make sure that we're ready to deal with that unpredictability. But I also think that what we're establishing right now is clear lines of contacts, conversations, being able to present what we're doing, to address their concerns. And I'm cautiously optimistic. But meanwhile, like I've mentioned many, many times, while we're doing that work, we're also ready to retaliate should they decide to impose unfair tariffs against Canadians.
Well, that's all for today. Thank you for staying with us. We'll see you tomorrow with more news and updates. Goodbye.